Hello, and thank you for joining me for another Alex on Tech and ITY video. I'm joined by Lana Vickridge-Smith, CEO of StartCon. How are you going?
Hi, Alex. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited. It's only about a week to go before StartCon 2019, Friday the 22nd and Saturday the 23rd of November at Royal Randwick. Let's go right into it. Who are the latest speakers and what's the latest news?
Well, we've had some big names announced in the last week or so. The Honourable Malcolm Turnbull, love him or hate him, you have to admit he is definitely putting innovation back on the agenda.
And he's a tech pioneer. We can't deny any of that.
Absolutely. So I'm really excited to hear him talk. We also have the infamous John Mcafee, who'll be joining us from a secret location, and he'll be talking all things Bitcoin, cryptocurrency,
freedom, individuality. I got to interview him thanks to you, and he was a fascinating person to interview.
Yeah, I think people are going to be quite surprised by John. I think they'll see a bit more of him, the real person, rather than the mystery that they
the media narrative and all the rest.
Yeah.
And look, like as with Malcolm Turnbull, Matt Barry will be also in conversation with John. So it's more than just it's not a pre-recorded video, it's a real conversation.
It is, yes. There'll be some Q&A after both of those talks, which is fantastic.
Sure. And how did you get John Mcafee? I mean, or Mcafee. I always say Mcafee, but I asked him, he says it's Mcafee. How did you get him? Because, I mean, back channels, you know, what's the secret?
Absolutely. It was word of mouth, friend of a friend. Does someone know? Very much hunting down someone who worked with him and then passed it on to the next person who passed it on.
And it worked.
And it worked.
Got through.
And yes, it was quite funny. It was like, is this the real John? But he's actually been really lovely to work with. So I can't wait to have him at StartCon.
And you have also people from NASA and former people from eBay and all sorts of things.
Yes, yeah. Look, I'm probably one of my true highlights of the talk, the whole event will be Dr. Crystal Johnson. She's a Deputy Director of Technology and at NASA. She's currently the acting head of the Goddard Space Center, as far as I'm aware.
Yep.
She's mind-blowing, amazing. You know, she's going to be talking about how we're going to be putting the first woman on the moon and the next man on the moon in the next 5 years. And there's going to be some real opportunities for startups who want to be involved with NASA. So I think she's going to be an exceptional talk.
And with a lot of space stuff actually happening in Australia with CubeSats and South Australian space launch places and of course Tidbinbilla near Canberra with the original moon landing, all that sort of stuff. I mean, we're well placed in Australia to go global and go into outer space.
Absolutely. We've got all this land. We can surely shoot rockets up from anywhere, let's be honest.
Absolutely. Now, StartCon has always packed more value into 2 days than you can encapsulate in a 30-second soundbite. But what are some of the things that you think people don't really know yet about this year's StartCon compared to the ones you've had in the past?
Look, we have done an amazing job this year of really filling out the tracks. So I'm really proud of the design track and the marketing and growth tracks. They're really strong, as well as the startup and the technical tracks. So, you know, you can go along and just follow your one dedicated track. You just
choose your own adventure, right?
Yeah, exactly. If you want to just follow all the designers throughout the conference over the 2 days, you can. But you're missing out on like all these five other adventures that you could be having. So I do recommend you put down your notebook and just absorb the day, make lots of new connections, get around and see everything that you can, and get access to all of our content in the coming weeks after the event.
Well, one of the things about StartCon has always been that you've filmed every session, and so the added value, the added bonus is that there's a whole 2 or 3 other conferences you couldn't attend within StartCon because you chose one track and there was half a dozen more. And so you can continue getting value out of StartCon for weeks, which is something that's pretty unique because most conferences don't really do that or don't have so much content. And one of the things that you mentioned, we were talking about before we were on air here, is that you've got more workshops than ever. So there really is this wealth of content. StartCon is like 10 conferences in one.
Look, I'm really proud of the workshops that we have this year. We have Canva coming along, running a design workshop, and they'll be doing that in the morning on Friday for a couple of hours, which is, you know, absolutely amazing to have have just, some of the best designers in the world coming down to share their tips on good design. We have a lovely woman, Rosa Claire, showing you how to do some bootstrap marketing, because you don't have to spend a lot of money to market your business. And she really is all for startups, so she'll be there over the weekend as well. But there's so many adventures you can be having. I think you're right in saying it is almost like Lollapalooza of tech for Australia. I'm really thrilled with it, and I can't wait to share it with everyone who comes along.
Well, look, you see other conferences and other things claiming to be, about startups, but I think we just heard a snippet as to why StartCon is Australia's largest startup and growth conference. Any final messages for the viewers?
I'm really excited for the event, and I can't wait to see you there. So if you want to come along, head to startcon.com and grab a ticket, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.